I know that you have increasingly become an advocate for school choice. Why? And what trends are you seeing?
I am an advocate for school choice because we are all individuals and we all don't survive and thrive and have success in one learning environment. And so we need to recognize that as a population. And we need to ensure that children, we need to utilize, again, I go back to the methods, techniques, and tools that will help children succeed. Because the bottom line is education is about educating children. I
Hmm.
mean, obviously, there's adults as well that are involved
Yeah.
in that, but underlying, we need children to become educated in order to be successful and to do good for society and mankind as they become adults. Because I, was in a private school environment for a while, and then I was an elected school board public member for a while. I saw disparities, with regards to children. Now, in either system, parents can withdraw their children and put them in a different learning environment, but it's not so easy for children going to public school to be withdrawn because what are the options? And in reality, there are really only three types of education: public, private, and homeschool. Because
Mhm.
everything you hear about choice falls within the public education system. When you hear about charters, when you hear about scholarships, when you hear about tax credits, a lot of those, or I'll say the majority, not all of them, I'm being general here. There again, it's state driven, but a lot of those fall, they're legislated programs and they apply within the helping children that are in failing public schools.
Right.
Okay. I'll put it that way. And so I'm seeing this over time and I'm like, well, why is it so difficult for a parent to put their child in an environment that helps them learn and be successful instead of just passing them along and having them graduate with, a percentage, proficiency percentage of 40, 50, 60%. I mean, that's pretty low, pretty pathetic actually, but a lot of kids do that. More recently, 2020, it's interesting. 2020, you usually think about hindsight, but the year 2020, because it is behind us, has given us insight
Yeah.
into the education system. And I believe that there are positives and negatives for everything.
Sure.
And one of the positives that has come out of COVID from an education perspective is that parents are waking up to what their children are being taught.
Hmm.
And a couple of trends that I've noticed, and I think will continue to grow and be supported, is pods, learning pods, where a couple of parents will get together, and it's kind of like a homeschool group, except it's more full time. The parents are stepping back when you're dealing with a pod. The parents are stepping back from the teaching. A lot of parents who homeschool are part of the teaching, um, the academic teaching, where pods tend to be more parents hiring a teacher to educate a group of children, and it can be anywhere from one to probably about a dozen is what I'm seeing or what I'm reading about.
Hmm.
The other thing is homeschooling has grown exponentially during COVID because parents are seeing what their children are being taught and they don't like it. And then obviously, the third one I'll mention is there's more and more of an emphasis on legislation to be proposed for money following the child.
Everybody is working hard to try to either preserve what they have or improve what we want. And, ultimately, the improvement part is what we all need to be focusing on. And as we are able to do that objectively, I'm confident that, we can make improvements. There's a lot of room for improvement, and we can do that.